Welcome to What's Math. Please subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. This video will focus on system of equations solved by substitution. Before I get into the lesson, I think it's important for us to recap special cases when solving equations. Important. If all variables cancel out, that means there's no more variables. You need to stop. And the reason why we need to stop is because the whole goal of solving an equation is to figure out the value of the variable. And if there's no more variables, then you cannot accomplish your goal. And whenever that happens, you want to ask, are they equal? So you want to know if both sides of the equation is equal. If you find yourself saying no, then your answer to that equation is no solution. However, if you find yourself saying yes, then the answer to that equation will be infinite solutions. Let's take a look at two examples. The first one, 7x equals 7 open parentheses x plus 3 close parentheses. For an equation like this, you can go ahead and distribute the 7 to everything inside the parentheses. So now we have 7x equals 7x plus 21. I want to move my x on the right side, so therefore the opposite of positive 7x is negative 7x, so I want to subtract 7x from both sides. When I take a good look on the left and the right side, I notice that in both situations they are additive inverse, so therefore they cancel out. So now I'm left with 0 equals to 21. There is no more variables, so I'm going to ask myself, is 0 equal to 21? And the answer to this is no. So therefore, for this equation, my answer is no solution. Let's look at the second example. 8x plus 3 equals 8x plus 3. I want to move the variable on the right side. The opposite of positive 8x is negative 8x. So I want to subtract 8x from both sides. And then once again, they are additive inverse on both sides, so they cancel out. Now I'm left with 3 equals to 3. I'm going to ask myself, is 3 equals to 3? And the answer is yes. So therefore, the answer for this equation would be infinite solutions. Solving system of equation by substitution. Step 1. Isolate a variable. Your choice. Hopefully you pick one that's in your best interest. Even though it doesn't matter which one you isolate, your answer will always be the same. Step 2. Plug in the resulting expression into the other equation. Step 3. Solve. Step 4. Plug in the result and solve for the other variable. Example. Solve the system of equation by substitution. 4x plus y equals 1. 13x plus 2y equals negative 3. Step 1. Isolate a variable. When I look at the first equation, I notice that the y is in the singular state, so I want to isolate the y. So I'm going to take that equation, 4x plus y equals 1. So I want to move that 4x. The opposite of positive 4x is negative 4x, so I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. Y is therefore equal to 1 minus 4x. Step 2, I want to plug in the resulting expression into the other equation because y is equal to 1 minus 4x, so therefore y is 1 minus 4x. So in the second equation, instead of having 13x plus 2y equals negative 3, and remember 2y means 2 times y, I replace the y with 1 minus 4x, so I end up with 13x plus 2 times 1 minus 4x close parentheses equals negative 3. I'm going to go ahead and solve by distributing the 2 to everything inside the parentheses. Now I have 13x plus 2 minus 8x equals negative 3. I want to combine like terms because they're on the same side. So now I end up with 5x plus 2 equals negative 3. I want to move the 2 on the left. The opposite of a positive 2 will be a negative 2, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. 5x is therefore equal to negative 5. I need to get rid of that coefficient of 5, which would be the opposite. The opposite would be division, because that means multiplication. So therefore, divide both sides by 5. So x is equal to negative 1. Now that I know that x is negative 1, I can replace the x in the expression 1 minus 4x to find out what is the value of y. So y is equal to 1 minus 4 times negative 1. So I'm going to take that negative 4 and multiply the negative 1, and a negative times a negative is positive, so y is therefore equal to 1 plus 4. Y is therefore equal to 5. Now that we have a value for x and a value for y, I'm going to go ahead and plug them into both equations to see if it makes both equations true. Both of them has to be true for it to be a solution. So 13 times negative 1 plus 2 times 5 is equal to negative 3. Negative 13 plus 10 is equal to negative 3, and that is true. Now plug it into the first equation, so it's going to be 4 times negative 1 plus 5 equals 1. Negative 4 plus 5 is equal to 1, and that is true once again. So therefore, my answer will be negative 1 comma 5. Remember, the x value is always written first and the y value is written second. Example, solve the system of equation by substitution. 3x minus 7y is equal to 5. X plus 8y is equals to 12. I want to isolate a variable, and I notice that in the second equation, the x is singular, so it's in my best interest to isolate the x in the second equation. To move that plus 8y, I need to subtract 8y from both sides. So x is equal to 12 minus 8y. Then I need to plug in that resulting expression into the other equation because x is 12 minus 8y. So every time I see an x, I'm going to replace it with 12 minus 8y. In the first equation is 3x, which means 3 times x minus 7y equals to 5. So instead of x, I'm going to have 12 minus 8y. So I'm end up with 3 times 12 minus 8y, close parentheses, minus 7y equals 5. I'm going to solve by distributing the 3 to everything inside the parentheses. So therefore, I'm going to have 36 minus 24y minus 7y equals 5. I'm going to combine like terms. Now I'm going to have 36 minus 31y equals 5. I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides. So now I'm end up with negative 31y equals negative 31. I want to get rid of the coefficient of negative 31. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 31. So therefore y is equal to 1. Now that I know that y is equal to 1, I can replace it in the expression 12 minus 8y. So therefore, x is equal to 12 minus 8 times 1 because y is 1. X is equal to 12 minus 8, so therefore x is equal to 4. Now that I have a value for x and a value for y, I'm going to go ahead and substitute it into both equations to make sure it works for both equations. 3 times 4 minus 7 times 1 is equal to 5. 12 minus 7 is equal to 5, and that is true. The second equation is going to be 4 plus 8 times 1 equals 12. 4 plus 8 is equal to 12, and that is true. Remember, now when you're writing the answer, the x should be written first and the y is written second. So therefore, my answer is 4, comma 1. Let's go ahead and check for understanding. Solve the system of equation by substitution. X minus y is equal to 2, and 4x plus 7y is equal to 19. Solution. Solve the system of equation by substitution. X minus y equals 2. 4x plus 7y is equal to 19. I need to pick a variable to isolate. Remember, it's your choice. I'm going to use the first one because both of them are in singular state. But I'm going to isolate the x because the y is negative. So I'm going to add y to both sides. So therefore, x is equal to 2 plus y. I'm going to plug in that resulting expression into the other equation because x is 2 plus y. So every time I see an x, I replace it with 2 plus y. So therefore, it's going to be 4 times 2 plus y plus 7y is equal to 19. Distribute the 4 to both sides, to the both expression inside of the parentheses. So 8 plus 4y plus 7y equals 19. Combine like terms. So 8 plus 11y equals 19. Subtract 8 from both sides. 11y equals to 11. To remove that coefficient, I'm going to divide both sides by 11. Y is equal to 1. Now that I know that y is equal to 1, I'm going to replace it inside the expression of 2 plus y to get the value for x. So therefore, x is equal to 2 plus 1, and x is therefore equal to 3. Now that I have a value for x and a value for y, we need to check to make sure that it works on both equations. So 3 minus 1 is equals to 2, and that is true. And the second one would be 4 times 3 plus 7 times 1 is equal to 19. So that would be 12 plus 7 is equal to 19, and that is true. Remember, your answer is always written x first and then y is second. So therefore, my answer is 3, comma 1. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell for further notification. Like and share my videos. If you like what you saw in this video, feel free to buy me a cup of coffee. It's not mandatory, but thank you in advance.